Thank you. Senator Alsobrooks.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Ms. Kramer, Mr. Donahue, and Mr. Nesvik, first of all, welcome. Thanks for being here, and congratulations to each of you on your nominations. Ms. Kramer, if confirmed, you will be head of the office that ensures safe drinking water and protects our watersheds and aquatic ecosystems. And Mr. Donahue, if confirmed, you will be responsible for ensuring that the EPA follows the law. And so my questions, I'm going to begin by raising the importance of the Chesapeake Bay. And this is relevant for both of the positions that you've been nominated for. And the Bay is so important as a source of drinking water, and it's important to Marylanders. It serves as a habitat for wildlife. It drives tourism in the region and supports our seafood industry. Now, the funding that Congress recently passed continues previous funding levels for the Bay. That's $92 million for the EPA Chesapeake Bay program, and broken down, it's about $10 million for Chesapeake Small Watershed Grants, $10 million for innovative nutrient and sediment reduction programs, $8 million for the state to target pollution. That is the greatest impact on Bay water quality. And so I just want to ask each of you whether you can commit that you will follow the law and get those dollars on the ground without delay in Maryland.
Thank you, Senator. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Senator, I love the Chesapeake Bay. I will absolutely commit to that. Yes.
Thank you. And second, Congress reauthorized, this is for Mr. Nesvik, Congress reauthorized the Chesapeake Wild program with strong bipartisan support last Congress, and Congress has provided funding for the Chesapeake Wild program for the last 3 years. And these investments have had an outsized impact on our region. The program provided, for example, $19.7 million in grants, which leveraged over $28 million in matching funds for a total conservation impact of $48.3 million. And the funding enabled 66 projects in all, six Bay watershed states in D.C., and this led to the restoration of over 1,700 miles of freshwater habitat, the planting of more than 75,000 trees, and improved public access to our natural resources. And so I think this is a pretty good bang for the buck. So our current government funding bill includes $8 million for this small but important program. And so I just want to ask you a similar question. And that question is whether you can assure me that the Chesapeake Wild will get its full allocation of the $8 million that Congress intended, and will you make sure that the grants get out the door expeditiously?
So, excellent question. Thank you, Senator. And I am familiar with Chesapeake Bay and how important it is to many states, not just one. And it's because it's such a central and integral part of a larger ecosystem. I remember sitting in front of this committee probably 6 or 7 years ago on a bill that included funding for Chesapeake Bay. So absolutely, I think there's been some excellent, exceptional progress made there on a lot of great initiatives with water quality and wildlife habitat, and certainly interested in continuing to execute any directives or appropriations by Congress.
Okay, so you support the $8 million for that Chesapeake Wild program for Maryland?
Senator, yes, I do.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, unfortunately, and this again is for Mr. Nesvik, the latest round of Chesapeake Wild grants has faced some delays. And we've seen the Eastern Shore Land Conservancy, for example, received a grant of $500,000, and the administration has frozen this funding. This project, in cooperation with private landowners, is set to protect approximately 500 acres of marsh habitat between the Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge and Nanticoke River in Dorchester. And so freezing these funds, as you might imagine, really reduces efficiencies because the cost of the project could increase. And so if confirmed, will you work with me to ensure that the Fish and Wildlife Service and partner agencies can quickly release the funds for this project so that the intended restoration work can continue?
Yes, Senator, absolutely. And I have a lot of experience and have found a lot of achievement in being able to work with private landowners who are incentivized to provide good wildlife habitat. And so I'm certainly very interested in working with you on this.
Thank you. And just quickly, I only have a few seconds left for Ms. Kramer. I know the PFAS have much work you've done in this area, and you know the importance of all of the efforts that have been made. In 2024, Maryland received $124 million for drinking water, wastewater, stormwater infrastructure upgrades, all through that bipartisan infrastructure law that you worked really hard on. Now, as you might know, the administration is pledged to roll back the bipartisan infrastructure law-related funding. So I just wonder whether or not you will continue to work with us and work with members of this committee to continue implementing the law, or whether you would agree to roll back in concert with the administration the bipartisan infrastructure funding.
Thank you, Senator. I, of course, will commit to working with this committee to follow the law.
Thank you so much. Yield. Thank you.
Senator